how much I love Journey Spice. Journey Spice, non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, just all sorts of goodness and smart, environmentally friendly packaging. Pinch the top, take it off. Food tastes better. Comes in singles, 2-packs, and 4-packs. It's Journey Spice. Find them at Amazon.com. Time for Denver's best sports talk with the Altitude Daily.
This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
The Broncos don't have like an, oh my God, this guy is going to burn up a defense sort of talent. Like, Cortland's really good.
Well, who's the last guy they had that fit that bill, in your estimation? Because there aren't many that come around. You're thinking
DT?
I'm thinking DT was pretty damn awesome.
It's a decade ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So those kind of players that you're trying to describe, it doesn't necessarily make a great team.
Vic,
it just makes a great player.
I went back to the 24-0 halftime deficit against the Chargers yesterday. Did you see that? And I watched the comeback.
I remember the game.
And that first touchdown pass to DT to start the second half, to start that third quarter, and I'm like, man. And he just cut through and he sliced right through the safeties, and I'm like, oh man, I need that guy. You know, it gets my blood pumping. Of course, that was the big comeback, and that was the Manning. Yes, he can really do it, and then the rest is history.
Change the season.
Yeah, it absolutely did.
But this is what's odd. When you have a team that is their head coach is an offensive-minded guy, just typically what happens is they have a bias towards their side of the football when it comes to acquiring talent, right? When Vic Fangio was here, it's like, let's try and get some defensive guys in here and make sure that my side of the ball is going to be set. Because I think the last thing those coaches want is the reason for your failure to be your responsibility. You know, that's what was really weird about Brandon Staley in Los Angeles. Remember, Brandon Staley was a defensive-minded coach, and their offense was amazing, and their defense stunk, and they're like, what's going on here? So what do you think
he made tremendously poor decisions.
Well, sure, but what do you think the decision is for Sean Payton?
Decision for what?
He has an offense that is lacking game breakers, let's say.
Okay.
And their top 3 assets that they had this offseason were a first-round corner and 2 high-priced linebackers and safeties.
I have the answer for you.
Okay.
And I had a deep discussion with somebody very close to Sean Payton about this yesterday. Do you know what Sean Payton strives for on his offensive side of the football? Run the play.
Yeah.
If you run the play, it will work. What drove him crazy with Russell Wilson, and the reason why it just was never going to work, is he didn't run the play.
He would improvise.
He didn't run the play. He turned his back to the play and did his own street ball thing, which is what Peyton referred to it as. He wants you to run the play because he has so much confidence in his playbook, in his offense, in his system, that it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to have professional players, but the guys he's assembled right now, in his eyes, run the play and we're fine.
Well, can I say this, that I don't necessarily have a problem with that? Because I believe that Sean Payton in his career, I think he's earned the right to trust his playbook and his play
100%.
calling.
The Altitude Daily. The Morning Sprint.
Right now, is Sean Payton a Hall of Fame head coach if he retires today?
Borderline. He might be in. But I think the answer is borderline and probably would get in like as a member like 20 years or 15 years after he were to retire. If he gets them to another Super Bowl, let's say he wins an AFC championship but they don't win a Super Bowl under Sean Payton. I'm not saying that they don't win a Super Bowl with Bo Nix here, but let's say Payton's here for 5 years, he retires, they don't quite get there.
Here is my take on it. If this past season of taking the Denver Broncos, who were picked to win in Vegas lines 5.5 games, 4.5 games?
In some books last year,
4.5 or 5.5. And takes them to a playoff game. Lose is obviously 31-7 to the Buffalo Bills on the road. If that's your best season as the head coach of the Denver Broncos in the second part of your head coaching career, Sean Payton is not a Hall of Famer. He is not a Hall of Famer.
The Morning Sprint.
If Matthew Golden ends up being that guy and you bypassed on him, yeah, there's a little pressure on Jahdae Barron. You passed up on Amarian Hampton. You passed up on Travion Henderson and the running back that went to Cleveland, even though he's had some off-the-field issues, in Quinshon Judkins. I do think there's a little bit of pressure on those two players that you drafted in both Jahdae Barron to be a rotational piece at the nickel and dime package spot, and also for R.J. Harvey to be the running back that you've been searching for that can create explosive plays.
I mean, do you think that Philly and Detroit and Detroit didn't have the opportunity to select Brian Thomas? They were the 24th pick in that draft, but there were two cornerbacks sandwiching Brian Thomas there. It was Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles at 22.
Quinyon Mitchell might end up being in the Pat Surtain conversation.
Right, I was going to say, like, Philly doesn't care that Brian Thomas went one pick after.
No, because and especially how they're built to play incredible defense, which you could say the same thing about these Denver Broncos.
Like, L.A. doesn't care that Brian Thomas went late. They've got Puka Nacua, and Jared Verse is also that pick at number 19. They don't care. Troy Falanu with Pittsburgh seems to be a stalwart on the offensive line early on in his career as well. Like, I don't think any of those teams are upset about Thomas being selected at 24. Now, Barron does have to perform. He doesn't have the same type of role that Quinyon Mitchell had at the end of the season last year in Philadelphia, right? Like, you have just as much, if not more, depth in the secondary here in Denver as they did in Philly last year.
The Altitude Daily. Polumbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
As I'm walking off there, we broke, and I'm walking off the field and saw Sean Payton. He was chatting with Colleen and
Undersized Colleen.
Yeah, undersized Colleen.
Okay.
I really had no idea if Sean Payton had any clue who I was. Because you guys asked me yesterday, had we really crossed paths? And I'm like, no. Of all the coaches in the NFL, I had no reason to ever cross paths with Sean Payton.
He was probably listening yesterday.
Maybe. But he called me over, actually. And,
my name?
Yeah. And just said, hey, man, how you doing? And, first off, I'm going to be careful here because I don't know if he knew that I've got a radio show, and I don't want to – I think he might have said some things to me, not necessarily knowing that.
Say what you're comfortable
right?
with.
But, the first thing he wanted to shout about was B-Squid. And so.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he was complaining about the fact that they had to come to us, that we were a 7-win football team that year. We got to host a playoff game against New Orleans. And we ended up beating them. They got up. They were up like 14-0 on us.
All right.
And
so he brought that up.
Yeah, he brought that up.
That's still eating him a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's eating him. It's eating him
That's
for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's like, I've just always thought these are silly rules. Like, why did we have to go there?
He's got a good point, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, it worked out well for us. Here's what I'll say without feeling like I'm breaching any confidence here. First off, Scott, that you had a fun interaction with him at the Nuggets game, and you walked away like, I kind of like the guy.
Right.
Well, I've never had beef with him like you did, but he's just insanely personal.
Very much so.
Extremely friendly. He was in a great mood. A fantastic mood, like a giddy mood. That's the kind of energy. And he's just like, man, what'd you think about that energy out there today? So same thing that I had already brought up, talking about the trash talk, talking about the energy that's going on. He was super proud of it. He was really happy with the practice.
No pads tomorrow. That if he's that giddy, right?
Probably. Yep. He was definitely happy with the energy, excited about the way that they're going. Scott, I'll give you this little nugget without feeling like I'm saying too much. I know that you've kind of been the one that's holding out for Audric Estime. He had some nice things to say about him. And, I think I brought it up. I mentioned something like, I saw Audric run over somebody today. That was kind of nice. And he had some really nice things to say about him. So, I don't know what that means, if it means anything at all.
Well, it's better than if you say nothing bad about him.
That's right. Right.
I go back, and again, I think the limitations have gone off on this. But when I text Elway during the 1 year with the T-Bone, I say, hey, man, you guys are rolling. Keep it going. He goes, yeah, now if we only had a quarterback, and you end up winning, 8 games in a row in a playoff game or something like that, right?
Hey, listen, Sean had a good day today. NFL Network's there. He likes doing all that stuff.
He loves national
Jay
stuff.
Glazer was there working out or doing whatever Jay Glazer was doing. So sees you, has a little fun about the Beats Quake.
We talked for easily 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
I was totally shocked by it. I had no clue if he had any idea who I was or not.
Well, how do we not, with the two of you guys, bring him over to the tent tomorrow? Get a couple minutes, right?
I don't look like Colleen. You know?
Oh, yeah, but you talk about the Beastquake, you can talk about the basketball. I mean, come on. You guys are like best friends with this dude.
Yeah, I talked to him one time.
Yeah, we ought to talk to his agent and get the
talk to his agent.
Sean Payton show every week.
Oh, well, easy. Let's be careful on that. But listen, it'd be nice to bring him over one time.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
You know what? You get him on the right day, he might just say yes. When he's in a mood like he was today, he might have said yes today.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Well, the key about it, I know you guys talk some football. He's a sports fan. So you could talk to him about a lot of stuff.
Let's go.
And I think that's kind of cool, too.
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Malcolm Roach. I mean, I sit next to him in the locker room. The guy doesn't shut up. He's talking crap to receivers. It's like, dude, like, you're a fat guy. Like, go worry about that. Leave me alone. But, no, we're always going back and forth. But with him, it's just a whole nother deal.
That was Marvin Mims today talking about Malcolm Roach. Doesn't Roach... He needs to be fat. That's what being a defensive lineman is.
Well,
like you have to weigh 300 pounds, right?
Yeah, here's my problem.
It's a part of the job description.
I'll show you fat. You know what I mean? Like, we call some of these NFL players fat. They're a little chubby. They're a little puffy.
It's
a lot of them aren't sloppy fat. Though.
You know what
there's a lot of muscle on that frame.
It's also it's useful girth, so to speak.
Exactly.
Useful width.
Yeah.
That
He's
you
not
have
paid
to have.
To be svelte.
You're utilizing
He's
it.
supposed to block two other 200 to 300 pound men.
Yes.
At one time.
Joining us right now is our friend Nick Kosmider of The Athletic, who can now weigh in on this discussion. Nick joins us right now on the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law, medical doctor and attorney. Visit ramoslaw.com. Nick, what did you make of those comments today from Marvin Mims and the friendly rivalry that exists between he and Malcolm Roach?
Well, I would just the one thing I would caution Marvin is if to borrow a phrase from your guys' colleague Tyler Polumbus, that when you leave the NFL, skinny guys get fat and fat guys get skinny.
That
right?
is very true.
So I'm just saying, like, you know, that I think fat is certainly a term of endearment when you're talking in the NFL about like who you are. I think he's trying to say, what do you have to tell me, a receiver who could run backwards faster than you can run at me, anything about what I'm doing out here. But yeah, they're funny, man. And Marv, I don't know if you guys saw, they moved it on over to X or Twitter or whatever to kind of keep that going. Marv is a hilarious follow on Twitter. I think earlier this year, Zach Allen made the top 100 at 90 or whatever it was. And Nick Bonito wrote too low. He quote tweeted and wrote too low, but he mistakenly said T-O low.
Yeah.
He did not give us the proper T-O-O.
Yeah. And Marv gave him grief about something about not paying enough attention in class at Oklahoma. So Marv is going to bring it in a way that is certainly different than Malcolm, but hilarious nonetheless.
You've been listening to The Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com @Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.